Hello my lovelies, today I'm going to show you how to do these fingerless mitts. They're relatively easy to do. I would say a beginner plus. You need to know how to do a foundation chain, which I will show you. That is the most complicated bit. You will need to know how to do a single crochet, a half double crochet and a double crochet, and the rest I will show you. So I did post a picture what it looks like on the arm, but you will also need a little bit of prep time, as this is a, oh I'm sorry, I hope I'm not going to do this too often, is run against the camera. So I've actually got my arm through the camera here so that you can actually see. I can't get a better setup somehow, it's not really functioning well. So anyway, so I will show you how to do this. You will need a bit of prep. You will need a crochet needle, a tapestry needle. You don't, this is optional, a marker is optional, and you will need a pair of scissors. Now you can use any wool you like. I have chosen this because it's leftover yarn that I have and it's warm. This is actually a Aran knitting, and this came from a 400-gram ball, and it is for 5mm needles or a 6 UK. Now to do the foundation chain, you will need to have 28 foundation stitches. So now the only way you're going to find out how that fits you best is to do a foundation chain with the needle size that you think you need. The norm is a 4mm. Let me see. So the norm is a 4mm, I have found out for most people, but that depends on your tension. So you'll have to first go through a few, maybe a couple or 3 needles to find out what yours is. Mine turned out to be a 3.5mm hook. I don't know what that is in American terms, so 3.5. 3.5, because this was too loose and this was just right. So with the foundation chain, what you will have to do is, this is the bottom end. So once you've done the foundation chain, you have to make sure that it fits where you want your glove to. Oopsie, now this won't work, will it? Hang on a minute, let me pause this. So I changed the camera position. I hope this is going to be a little bit better. So what I was going to say is that this edge here, the foundation chain edge, will have to fit wherever you want your glove. Now I made mine extremely long because I like long, but the norm is this part is about 7 rows for the norm, but I've made mine extremely long, as you can see. They go right to the elbow or just below the elbow. Okay, so that's how I like mine. So let's start with that then. What you will need, so you need to maybe try a 4 and then see how loose it is. What you'll end up with is 28 foundation chains. Okay, and that is not normal chains. You can do it with normal chains if you don't feel it. It doesn't look quite as neat because this is a very neat edging. With normal chains it looks a bit bumpier, but if you're not that bothered about it, then just use normal chains. and you have to measure around the part that is widest. So for me it was up here, but it can also be across here, also that you can at least get it over the thumb part of your hand here. So I hope that was in English that you could understand, because sometimes I don't speak very clearly. Unfortunately, my needle is a 3.5 and it's the color red. I don't have another one in a different color. So I will now try to zoom in. Okay, and I might have to adjust this a little bit. Let's try zoom in. And up a bit. So if I'm referring to that side over there, that's because I have a few notes here. So this is not tricky, you just have to pay a bit attention to a few bits in here so that you don't get it wrong. Right, so if you have a very tight tension, then go up a needle size. Let me just move this across. I noticed otherwise I'm again working. Okay. Right. Right, so now the foundation chain. You can look it up on YouTube as well, but generally speaking, don't make it too tight. So if you prefer, you can go up half a needle size, but I wouldn't do more than a hook size, half a hook size. So, but I didn't, I used the 3.5 all the way through. So that's what I will do for this one as well. So for the foundation chain, you chain 1, you chain 2. Now you go into the first chain, but also take the back loop. I hope you can see that. So I have taken 2 loops, you chain through the 2 loops, then you chain the first one, and then you chain the second one. That's 1. So you do the same again, go to the one before, chain, pull through 1, pull through 1, pull through 2. That's 2. Again, 1, oopsie, 1, 2. That's 3. And again. This yarn is sometimes a bit difficult with the small hook. 1, 1, 2. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Do it again. 1, 1, 2 is 5. 1, 1, 2, that's 6. All right, so you need 28 of those. I'll see you after 28. I've just noticed it was a bit dark, so I've switched all the lights on I have, and I'll show you once more. So, okay, go into the back loop, so double loops at the back, and you go through once, twice, and then through both loops. That's 6 now, I think, or is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's my 7th stitch. Okay, once again with the lights on, go through both loops, pull through one, pull through one, pull through two. That's my 8th double foundation stitch. Okay, so there you will see all the foundations. This will be your outside edge. Okay, so you need 28 of those, and they need, let's go back, scroll back out again, zoom back out. Oh, if I could find the switch. Okay, and once again, they need to fit around here or here, wherever you, however long you want your glove, fingerless glove to be. Okay, see you back in a minute. So now I have my 28 foundation chain, and now I'm going to join. So this is now important, don't twist your work. So you lay it flat, all right, and then you join right at the beginning here into the very first stitch, like so, and you slip stitch, that through. Okay, there will be a little bit of a bump, but you can, that's the bit you sew in, so don't worry about that. So now you chain 2. Hope I'm in the picture. Chain 2. Let me see if I can focus in a bit better. Chain 2. And now you're going to, in each stitch, sorry, I had a frog in my throat there. So now we're going to be doing a double crochet into each and every stitch here in your chain. So double crochet. You should have 28 by the time you've gone round. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've caught a, no, let's get out again. I've split the yarn. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I hope I've done it right, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Now my 28th stitch is a bit lumpy bumpy, so I'm going into the back loop there just to even that one out. $28. So now I don't know what it is with my throat now. Anyway, so here you have your 28 and you slip stitch to the beginning like so. As I said, this little lump you can sew up in the end, you won't notice it. So now you've got to chain 2, chain 3, actually chain 3, because what you're going to do is you're now going to do 7 rounds of double crochet on top of each other. So once again, on top of the other double crochet, you place another double crochet. This will not count as a double crochet. So you should end up with 28 at the end again. I'm not in the picture. I hope I am. All morning they've been sleeping, and now when I'm starting recording, they start making a noise. Sod's law. I'll come back to you when I'm at the end of the round. So I'm on 24 right now. That's 25. 27. 28. I think I'm actually one out. Did I miscount? So this one doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 28. So and now what we do is no, that it was 28. We slip stitch again in the top here, slip stitch this together, chain 3, and do another few more rounds for as long as you want for the length, for the length you want. So I'll come back after I have actually 11 rows of double crochet, and I'll come back for my 12th, but the norm is 7. So the norm amount of rounds is 7. I just want to show you once more. So I am on my 3rd round here. I've done my 28 double crochet, and you just slip stitch into the top of that chain, and that does not count as your first stitch. So then you chain 3 again and you start over. So that's my 4th round. So I have now reached my row 11. That would be most probably your row 7. So the next one is the row 8, or in my case row 12, which is now the increase row. The increase row, as the fans here, this pattern here is a multiple of 10. So we are going to increase the stitches to 40. So for that, what we do is we chain 2, and we do in the same stitch, we do a double crochet. This time this counts, or no, this doesn't count as a double crochet, because this, as we are just going up the row, this never counts. So that means we're doing another into the same stitch, and then next is 1 double crochet. In the following we do 2. And then 1 again in the next 2. And so we go all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, I'm coming up to the end of the row. I have 36 at the moment. So 37, 38, 39, 40. Oops, that wasn't a double crochet. 40. Right, and then you slip stitch here in the top of that chain we did first of all. And there we go, slip stitched. So now we have increased to 40, and that's our setup row. So I just want to show you. So this is where now the pattern will start. Okay, measuring it on the other, I'm at the same. Sometimes if you do your crochet on different days, it can be a bit more tight or a bit more loose depending on how you work on the day. So sometimes it helps just to have a measure there, just to make sure that you are on the same track. Right, now this is not, the next step is not tricky, but you just have to follow closely because we're now starting the first setup shell pattern. Okay, so now, the lights, sorry, I need to switch the lights on. Okay, back to start again. So now we chain one. Okay, and in the same stitch here, let me try zoom in now. Okay, try zoom in a bit more. Okay, I hope that's now all visible. So in the same stitch here, we are going to now do one single crochet. One single crochet, we'll chain one. Now we're going to skip the next one, single crochet into the next, now we're going to skip three, 1, 2, 3, so this is my fourth here. And we're going to do 3 double crochet into the same stitch. This is the shell that we are now doing. So 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, that's half a shell. Okay. Then we chain one and do another 3 double crochet into the same stitch here to make a full shell. That's 1, 2, 3. Now you have your first shell. Okay. So you have set up your first shell now. Right, now you skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth you do a single crochet, you chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next, skip 3, 1, 2, 3. So in the fourth you do your next shell. A shell is 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and in the same stitch do another 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Now you skip 3, 1, 2, 3. In the fourth, you put your single crochet. Oops, did I miss that? 1, 2, 3. Ah, here we go. You put your single crochet, chain 1, skip 1. In the next, another single crochet, now you skip 3, 1, 2, 3. In the fourth, you put your next shell. 1, 2, 3, double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet in the same stitch, makes 1 shell. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then you skip 1, single crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next, skip 3, 1, 2, 3. In the fourth, you do your shell. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and in the same stitch another 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next, so now comes the little bit of a tricky bit here. So we're nearing now the end of our row, and we have just done our last single crochet there. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to slip stitch into the end of, or the beginning of our round here. So you should have now 4 shells. That's 4 shells. And now the next step of setting this up is very important, because if you don't get the tension right on this, then you'll have to start again. So you'll have to then frog it down right down to the starting shell. So we are now going to start off with half double crochets. So for that, you chain 2, you chain 3, and then you go into the same space, you do a half double crochet, that's pulling it through all 3 loops at the same time. I've got to do this slowly because my hook is rather small. So, and now this is where the tricky bit is, because I always, if I do chains, I tend to pull too tight. So I've got to make an effort that my chains are not too tight. So I've chained 3, 1, 2, 3. If you are a tight crocheter when you do these things, then you can either decide to go up 1/2 a crochet hook size, or you just make an effort like I am to crochet loose on this bit. And then here in the tip of your shell, you're going to do a single crochet, then chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3. And now remember you have a chain space in between your 2 single crochets. That's where you're now going to put a V-stitch, okay, which means you're going to do 1/2 double crochet in that space, chain 1, and another 1/2 double crochet into the same space. Okay, so that's your V-stitch. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Do not do these too tight. It has happened to me before and I had to unravel it all. Single crochet in the tip of your shell, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Look for your chain 1 space in between your 2 single crochets. Do a V-stitch in there, which is 1/2 double crochet, chain 1, another 1/2 double crochet into the same space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the tip of your shell, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, another into the next space again, chain space. You want another V-stitch, don't forget the chain 1 in between the 2 1/2 double crochets. That's another common mistake. Then you'll end up with a glove that's way too tight. Chain 3, single crochet in the tip, chain 3, and now because we already have, oops, am I out the picture? Okay, so now remember we had the chain which I said we're going to this time count. So now all we have to do is slip stitch into here. So there you have your setup. Make sure it's not too tight so it doesn't go in like that. All right, and that is your setup of the proper pattern. So now we have another tiny little tricky bit. Sorry. Let's get into the camera as good as I can. So now, as I said, this is going to be our V-stitch here. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to slip stitch into that so that we're in the right position. All right, and now we're going to do 1/2 a shell. That means we chained 4 in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, and do 3 double crochets, because the first one doesn't count. 3 double crochets into that same space. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is what we have now. So it looks like we have 4, but we have not. We have the beginning of the round and half a fan. Okay, so now we have here a 3 chain space and we'll do 1 single crochet into that. Noise. Right, another not tricky bit, but thing you have to remember. So now you've done your single crochet, you chain 1, you skip this one, and into the next 3 chain space you do another single crochet, and then we move on and we have our V stitch here. So now into the V stitch we now do a full shell, that is 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and another 3 double crochet into the same V space, 1, 2, 3. Then we have a chained 3 space here, which we do a single crochet, chain 1, not too tight as I said before, skip the next one, into the next chain 3 space we have another single crochet. Now we're coming up to a V, in that we do another full shell. And we do the same again, same over. Chain 3 space is a single crochet, chain 1, next chain 3 space, single crochet. Next V, we do a shell. Now, I got distracted there. What have I got? I have 1, 2, 3. Now I can't see it properly. My eyes are going. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1 more. I get distracted. The dogs are making noise. They've decided they want to crunch on their biscuits and so on. So now we're back to the single chain 3 space. We do a single crochet, chain 1, skip this one, single crochet into the next, and now we slip stitch here into the top of here to join the round. So now is a good time to check once more whether you haven't pulled too tight, whether the pattern is still going outwards. Okay, you can try it on just to make sure. All right, so that the setup is correct. Sorry, I think I told you a nonsense there. So let's just go back one step. So I have now my fan, my single crochet in the next chain 3. Let's go back to the last fan. Okay, last fan, here we go. I think I made a mistake there because I wasn't concentrating. So I have my single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, Right, and now of course I've got to finish off my shell. So I have here 3, and so I need another 2 more in here. So into the same space here, just 2 more double crochet. 1, 2, and slip stitch to the end. Did you get that? So I repeat, after your last chain 3 space single crochet, go into the former round and finish off your shell by adding 2 double crochets, and then do a slip stitch in the top. So now we actually have our shell now nearly finished. What we've got to do is we've just got to get right into the middle. We're slightly off, as you can see, so we slip stitch into the top here, right, and chain 1. This is for the beginning of the next row. So now to set up the row count, we need 1 single crochet into the same space. We've just done here the slip stitch. So 1 single crochet. Now we need a chain 3, not too tight. And now we look for our single crochet space here in between, and we're now going to put our V-stitch in there again. So half double crochet V-stitch. So that's 1, chain 1, and another half double crochet into the same space. It's tricky for me. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the top, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now again a V-stitch into the chain 1 space from the row before. So that's 1, chain 1, and another half double crochet, chain 3, and a single crochet into the top, chain 3, look for our chain 1 space again. There we're going to set our V-stitch. So that's 1 half double crochet again, a chain 1, and another half double crochet into the same space, and chain 3, single crochet into the top of our shell, chain 3, look for our next half space, we do another V-stitch, chain 3, so we've done so we've reached so far. You see this is here now the beginning of the next row here, where we will now connect. Just make sure once again that you've not gone too tight. So now here comes a little bit, not tricky, but here you've just got to make sure you get the right stitch. So what we have here after our chain, as I said, we need to join. We have a little V-stitch here. So what we do is we just slip stitch into the top there. Okay, so now we have joined here. We chain 1, now we have a chain 3 space here in which we will do a single crochet, and then next up comes a V-stitch in which we will now put a full shell. Right, so next we have here 2 chain spaces, and we'll do as before. We do a single crochet, a chain, into the next chain space, a single crochet, into the V, a full fan or shell. Chain 3 space, we have a single crochet, chain 1, chain 1, into the next chain 3 space, a single crochet, into the V-stitch, a shell, a full shell. One, two, three, 1, 2, one more. Chain 3 space is a single crochet. Am I still in the picture? I hope so. Chain 1, chain 3 space, single crochet, and here another full shell into the V space, oops, bit overzealous there. Oh, I have to undo that now. Split. So let me see, where was I now? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, and now we're nearing again the end of our round. So now we're ending with a single crochet, a chain 1, and then you've got to look for the beginning of your round here, which had a chain 1 space, and in that we will now slip stitch. So there you have finished your round, your next round. Make sure that everything is still okay. And you still got 4 shells, and you can see the pattern is now on every shell row they are diagonal. Okay, now we need to pay attention. We have just joined the third row of our little shells here, and this is now where we're going to split for the thumb. So we're going to chain 3, which counts for 1 half double crochet and 1 chain. So chain 3, and now the concentration, because you now have to do a half double crochet, but instead of going in front of the stitch, you go behind the stitch. So basically where you've come from, and you pull that through. There we go. So this is like a little V, but backwards, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay, now it would be a good chance to take your marker, because as we're going to split, you got to remember that this is now where your thumb will start. So I'm just going to bang in my little marker right there in the little hole. My marker's not very flexible. It doesn't want to go. Why doesn't it want to go? Here we go. Right, just so that I remember that this is where the split is supposed to be. Okay, so now we've basically done a little V-stitch here. We're going to chain 3 loosely. Don't tighten up because you're getting excited. And into the top, again, your single crochet, chain 3. And we're back to the normal pattern. Look for your chain 1 space and do your V-stitch. And then chain 3. Back to the top of your shell with a single crochet, chain 3. Now we need our V-stitch again. Chain 3. Single crochet, chain 3. V-stitch, chain 3, join here at the top again with your single crochet, chain 3. And then let's just have a look, because here I have my marker to remind me this is where I'm going to be splitting. Okay, let's just have a look at that a bit closer. Just let's look at this closely. So you have your last 3 chain, and this is where you had your V-stitch from before. Okay, now we're going to stop going in the round. We're now going back and forth. So to make the pattern work, we have, I hope you can see that just below my little marker here, there's a little space. Now in that you want to do a V-stitch. Okay. What did I just do? I didn't do a V-stitch. I nearly did a half double crochet. No, it's a V-stitch. Oh, it's getting late. Okay. Now the wool's giving me problems as well, so Third time lucky. Start again. Okay, now pull this through all three. Why is it not playing? There we go. Chain one, do another one. There we go. Okay, so now you see here's the split. I can readjust my marker. As in put it right down, right in the middle of that little hole. Okay, so that's where so now we've ended the round with another V, and we've got a V on this side and a V on that side. Now we're going to turn our work around. Okay, you get that? So you see I have turned my work around. I'm basically facing the other side. Right, now we're going to chain 3, and this time 1, 2, 3, this will count as a half double crochet. So now we're going to make into the same stitch here, we are going to do 2 more half double crochets to make half a shell. So we're doing half a shell into that space. This time the chain 3 counts. Now we have a chain 3 space and we put a single crochet into that. Chain 1. Work our way round to the next chain 3 space, single crochet. Now we have our V, we'll do a full shell into that. I'm just looking at my yarn and I'm thinking with my luck it's going to stop right in the last row, and I'm going to have to add in. So full shell, okay. Now we have a chain 3 space, we do a single crochet, chain 1, chain 3 space, single crochet. So we're back in pattern again, V stitch, we put our shell. Chain 3 space, we have our single crochet, chain 1. And the next chain 3 space, our single crochet. Next V, we put our shell. Sorry for the sniffling, all of a sudden it's got very cold, my nose is responding. Chain 3 space, our single crochet, chain 1, chain 3 space, single crochet. Now you notice we have here our V, and let's just have another look before we carry on. Let's just have another look how this went. Okay, so let's just revise what we have here. So we started here with a half a shell, and then we worked our 3 full shells, and we've done our single crochet here, and now we still have down here our V. Okay, so now in this, to make this basically a full shell, what we're going to do is we are going to do into this V half a shell. Okay, so if this weren't split, that would make up basically a full shell here. Okay, so now we're going to turn our work. We're going to chain 1, and in the same spot we're going to do a single crochet. So that we're all even Steven, so to speak. Okay, can you see that? So let me show you just once more. So we started off on this side and we did half a shell, and then we did our 3 full shells. We've ended off with another half shell, turned our work around, and we're starting the next row. And we're nearly there, not far off from completing. So now we're just going to carry on as we have done before. So our next row would be creating the V stitches. So what we're going to do is chain 3 and into our half space here we put our V stitch. Oops, there we go, 1. Don't know, why is this all of a sudden starting to split? It's annoying. Right, and another half double crochet, chain 3, single crochet in the tip, chain 3, find our little middle spot here, do our V stitch, chain 3, single crochet in the tip again, chain 3, find our little midway point for our V stitch, chain 3, join at the tip, that's not very clear. I didn't do this very nicely, did I? Here we go. Chain 3, find our midway point again for our little V stitch, chain 3, oops, that was 2, 3, join up here with a single crochet. So now we have the next row set up, and of course we're going to turn our work. Right, so we've turned our work again. Do you see that? So we finished off in pattern, and all we have done is turned our work. So now we've turned our work, we're going to chain one, and we're going to put a single crochet right into the same stitch there. Single crochet. Okay, and now we're going to do a full shell into your V space. Nothing new there. Okay, let's have another look. So we have essentially created little V here. We've done our full shell, and we have a chain 3 space, which we'll do our single crochet, chain 1, back into the chain 3 space with a single crochet. Here's our little V, so that's a full shell. Oops. That's half a shell I got now. The other half. We have our chain 3 space, so that's a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, into the V, oh, have I got out the camera? Into the V, we do our full shell again. Sorry, it's a bad habit. I normally work so close to my body. With the camera, it's an adjustment. Right, that's half a shell. Next half of the shell. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Chain 3 space is a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the next. Into our V we do another full shell, and we have here our chain 3 space, so that is a single crochet, a chain 1, and now we will be using this space. But before we finish off there, the end, let's just check that you haven't been pulling too tight. Okay. Okay, so we're just normal in pattern, nothing has changed. Everything is on course. Can you see that? Everything's on course here. Yeah, it's like little petals all the way around. If I bend it over so you can see, like that, little petals around. This is where we change, and this is our end here. So we've still got our 4 shells, everything's on course, on track here. So right here at the end, we finish off with a single crochet in the tip. We turn our work, we chain 3. We do a half double crochet into that little space. Oops, I lost it. So once again, pulling it through, there we go. Okay, chain 3. And we're back to single crochet in the tip, chain 3, look for a halfway point, and again our V-stitch, okay, chain 3, single crochet into the tip, chain 3, next comes our V-stitch again, chain 3, into the tip, a single crochet, chain 3, look for a halfway point again and make a V-stitch, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and into our tip here we will be doing another V-stitch. Oops. Make sure you get through it properly, not just half. 1, oh, this is now playing up what's going on here. Okay. I'm trying to get my V-stitch done here. And it's just splitting. So here we go. Okay, there we go, that's better. So we have ended with a little V here. So we have our little V there and we have our little V here. So that's the next setup. Once again, always double check just to make sure, because if you're like me, you hate undoing stuff. I just hate it. I'd rather check twice or 3 times than have to undo stuff. So we're nearly there now. Right, so now I think my yarn is a bit unraveled. That's what the problem is here. That's why it's splitting. So anyway, so turn your work, chain 3. This will count as a double crochet. So put 2 more double crochets into the little V that you have just made, so that you have half a shell. Okay, now we have a chain 3 space. You know what's coming next. That's a single crochet, chain 1, next chain 3 space, another single crochet, and a full shell into your little V space that comes next. There we have our full shell. Into the chain 3 space we do our single crochet, chain 1. In the next chain 3 space our single crochet. Into the V, a full shell. And it's starting to split again. 1, 2, 3. Let me just check. Did I do 3 and 3? Yes. Chain 3 space is a single crochet, chain 1, next chain space, single crochet, next V, a full shell, chain space, single crochet, chain 1, chain space, single crochet. Right, now we come to our little V, and remember we got to copy what's on the other end, so we have half a shell on this side, so we put half a shell into here as well. So 3 double crochets. And with that, we have that row completed as well. So we have basically, if we put this together, our full shell, number 1, 2, 3, 4. We still have our 4 shells and we're still in pattern. We turn our work. Oh, did I get out of the picture again? So we turn our work once more. Okay, so just have another look. There you see we have and this is not going inwards, so checked again on the sizing so that we're still on track with that. So this space is now enough for any thumb, so this will be our last round, and we at the end of this, we will then make it back into a round again. Okay, so we've basically turned our work. We need a chain 1. In the same space, do a single crochet, chain 3, into our halfway space we do our V-stitch, chain 3, single crochet into the tip, chain 3, halfway stitch we do our V, chain 3, now I've got an itch on my nose, single crochet into the tip, chain 3, V in the halfway, sometimes it's trying to be tricky, this wool, and here we go, it's starting to split again. I chose it because it's really warm wool, chain 3, and because I wanted to use up wool that I already had, single crochet, chain 3, into here goes our V-stitch again, not wanting to play, it's trying to play up basically, chain 3, now at the tip here you connect, by doing a single crochet, right. So this is now where we now will start connecting. So we've done a single crochet here, and we will now connect to the other side with a slip stitch. So finished working back and forth, we're now going back to the round. Okay, we've connected with the slip stitch. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. We have now our thumb hole here, and we have just connected. So we've slip stitched this closed, now we chain 1. And into this chain 3 space we do a single crochet, then up next comes a V-stitch, and we do a full shell into that. Try stay in the picture, Maya. Next up we have a chain space, so that's a single crochet, chain 1, next chain 3 space, single crochet, V-stitch, do a full shell, next chain space is a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, a full shell into the V, single crochet into the chain space, single, and then chain 1, single crochet into the chain space. I don't know, did I now do the chain 1? Single, yes I did. Single crochet into the chain space, full shell into the V, now we have here a single, chain 3 space, so we go single crochet, and then we will now see how we work this connection. Just check once again, have you still got your 4 shells? Yes, we have our 4 shells. Does this still fit? Yes. Let's just check once more before we close it off on that side, as in join another time. Is this fitting? Yes, it's fitting. It is the length we wanted. It is wide enough, not too tight. Yes. In fairness, this time I could have crocheted a tiny bit tighter, but that doesn't matter. So we're now reaching the very end. Okay, now we need your now this is another spot where you have to pay attention. So the last one we did here was a single crochet, we chain 1, okay, skip this join here and do a slip stitch into the first single crochet we did on this side. Okay, so that is our join. Now we'll chain 3, and as we did before, we're now going to do a half double crochet but backwards. Okay, so we're going back into the space behind the chains we've already got. Okay, so a half double crochet like that. And what we have basically done is we have created a little V-stitch again here. We chain 3 and we're back to our pattern in the round with a single crochet at the tip, chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, V-stitch in the halfway, and it's playing up again. Here we go. Chain 3, single crochet into the tip, chain 3. I am going to be playing yarn chicken. As in, is this going to go out on the very last row? I hope not. Go halfway house. Here we do our V-stitch. Chain 1, V-stitch. Chain 3. Back into the tip, single crochet, chain 3, and back to our halfway. We do our V-stitch. So chain 3, single crochet into the tip, chain 3, okay, so now you see we are now just going to slip stitch here into this little V we have. So with that we have our join of the round. See, this wool is playing up all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so that's what that looks like right now. I hope you can see that well. So we have our V-stitch, our fan below, and our V-stitch completed here. Okay, so now I want to make you aware, obviously this is not perfect. What we have here is we have it a bit skew, so what we need to do to get that straight on line is a slip stitch into that little V gap. Okay, now we're on our final row, not row, round, as we're going in the round. Okay, for this we're going to, so that it fits a bit tighter, for the last round we are going to just amend a tiny little bit. Okay, to get this a little bit more snug so that it doesn't flop around at the fingers too much, we're going to do, as I said, a few adjustments. Number 1, we're going to chain 3. And this counts as a full stitch. We'll do a full fan or shell into this V space. So that's 1, 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. So we're starting off with the full fan shell. Sorry, the noises in the background. The dog has decided to start crunching his biscuits. So, and now we're going to do into this chain space, we're going to do a single crochet. But hang on, we're not going to do a chain this time. We just wanted that tiny bit snugger, so we're going to go straight to do a single crochet into the next chain space and onto our fan, into the V-stitch, as in the shell. 1, 2, 3, and another 3 double crochet for our full shell. Just check, yes. So now the chain space is here again. We do 1 single crochet, no chain, straight a single crochet straight into the next chain 3 space, and back to our full shell into the V-stitch. Again, single crochet into the chain 3 space, no chain, straight into the next chain 3 space with a single crochet, straight into the V with another full shell. Straight into the chain 3 space with a single crochet and into the next chain 3 space with a single crochet. And yes, we're at our end. What we're now going to do is we're just going to slip stitch into the end. Oops, that wasn't clean. Let's do it again. Into the top. Slip stitch, and this is where we can cut off our yarn now, but I won't. I'm just going to check once more. So now you can try it on. Get your thumb in, pull it on. Let me now zoom out. So, oops. So I have my length, it's the same length as before. The thumb is working well, just need to get it straight. There we go. And there you have your second, well, one of your gloves, one of your fingerless mitts. There you go. There you have it. So all you need to do now is cut off this and sew it in. Let's get to that bit. So let's cut enough length off, pull it through like that and sew it in. Where have I put, here's my needle. Ironic, my fingers are cold. Okay. So I go in through the back and I go down a bit. And then I pull just to make sure that it's not too tight. And I go around the shell on the lower row. And then I go back again. And I pull so that I make sure it's not too tight. And that should be enough. Snip it off. And there's Bob's your uncle. Take the marker out, we don't need that anymore. And it's time to put on your fingerless mitts. What you can do is, of course, you're supposed to block them as well. That will help. Blocking always helps to get them into the shape you want. But there you go. There's your 2 fingerless mitts. And they will keep you nice and warm. If you want to, you can add another row, but then I don't know, I will leave these on for typing on the computer and such, and also for, you know, for working the mobile phone. So for me this is enough. You can do another row if you wanted to, but I find this is sufficient. I like mine to be long so that they're almost like sleeves. There you go. Here you go. Your shell or fantail fingerless mitts. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. I hope the instructions were clear. I will see if I can do a little bit of a graph to post onto the information box as well. So bye bye. I hope you enjoyed my DIY.